The Commonwealth coat of arms on a yellow bokeh background, the logo for the Australian government. As one, working together to transform the APS workforce. As one, the Australian Public Service Disability Employment Strategy aims to support the employment of people with disability in our large and diverse workforce. In this video, senior leaders share their experiences of creating inclusive and confident workplaces for people with disability. How does the APS encourage people with disability to consider a career in the APS? Samantha Palmer, Health.
One of the most important aspects of the Australian Public Service is the great conditions of service for the people who work in it. And this makes it a wonderful place for people to work with all sorts of different diversity backgrounds. We have an amazing capacity to develop our leadership and make sure that we have good managers in our service, which create the right conditions for our employees to do their very best.
Michelle Cornish, Education.
The APS, the Australian Public Service, is such a large employer. So there are so many opportunities for us to improve the diversity of our workforce and therefore reflect the general population. So we have so many opportunities that we can offer to people.
Dr. Ian Watt, AO.
I would encourage them to apply, and I would say that they have the same opportunity in the APS as would any other person. I would also say that they can aspire to the same future in the APS as any other person. And I would finally say that the APS is an employer that brings equality of opportunity to everyone, including, and particularly, I hope, people with a disability.
Carmel McGregor.
There are many jobs, many locations, many different types of activities that people with disabilities can be involved in, that they will be supported in their workplace. Where they have specific requirements, we will work with them to help them get the sort of access and equipment or adaptive technology that they need, and that we will help them connect with others so that they will find support from amongst their peers.
You'll find a workplace that is supportive, that provides reasonable adjustment, that cares about people. People matter, leadership matters. It's a fantastic place to work.
Michelle Cornish spoke earlier. Samantha Palmer.
I'd really encourage people with disability to consider working in the APS and to throw their hat in the ring. There's lots of amazing wide range of jobs that you can do here, and very supportive policies and practices for people from all walks of life.
How can agencies adjust recruitment processes to be more inclusive? Carol Hajo, Department of Human Services.
It's important for managers to remember that they need to focus on what the job requires. So what are going to be the outcomes of that particular job, and what would an employee need to have in order to achieve those outcomes? So not how the employee is going to achieve those outcomes, but what outcomes need to be achieved. For example, it may not be necessary for a person to have a driver's license, although the job requires them to go to different locations. That employee may be able to access those locations using taxis or buses or other forms of transport, and they may not require a driver's licence.
Craig Farrell.
There is still a lot of confusion out there about what merit means to individual people, and this is not just in the disability space. But can this person do the job? Is this person well suited to the job? What sorts of preparation, including development and training and reasonable adjustment, can we make to make a reasonable assessment of this person? Can this person be a productive Australian Public Service employee? If the answer to that is yes, then it should be our purpose to set about putting that in place, removing as many barriers as is possible.
Carol Hajo.
Different people need different adjustments throughout a recruitment process, at the interview stage or even at the application stage. I think you need to consider enabling people to apply in many different ways, not just in writing and not just the regular CV style of application. When it comes to interview, I think you need to enable people to be interviewed in different ways. Some people may need to bring an Auslan interpreter with them. Other people may need assistance if there's computer testing, so they might be users of assistive technology and they might need that to be installed. They might need more time during an interview process. They might need to explain things in a different way. It doesn't really matter how they're interviewed or how they apply for the position, as long as they have a chance to demonstrate that they're capable of performing the job.
As one, working together to transform the APS workforce. The Commonwealth coat of arms on a yellow bokeh background, the logo for the Australian Government.